Did you catch President Donald Trump's complete takedown of the media during his CPAC speech? Once again, he came out swinging at the press, slinging around the term fake news again in reference to organizations that rely heavily on anonymous sources to slam his agenda, his policies, and so forth. And he didn't exactly name which news outlets he was speaking of, but he did finally refer to one as the Clinton News Network. Of course, those on the left call it CNN. And shortly after Trump announced he wouldn't be attending this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner, the yearly event for members of the press to smooze with the president and even roast him. Meanwhile, White House spokesman Sean Spicer just held this gaggle, which is a small press conference, with a few select reporters, purposely failing to invite the likes of the New York Times, CNN, the Los Angeles Times, Politico, and other left-leaners. And now, of course, the media is howling, crying about this White House and this president as if it's the most anti-media, the most closed to press in the history of America. Well, I'd like to just remind how the previous administration treated press that they didn't like. Remember when Barack Obama's White House went out of its way to exclude Fox News from press briefings? Remember how in 2014, the Barack Obama Justice Department was so-called awarded the Jefferson muzzle from the Thomas Jefferson Center for the Protection of Free Expression for its clampdown on free speech? And how during that same year, the same White House press office was awarded the second place finish for that same anti-First Amendment award. Remember also how in 2013, the White House Correspondents Association, along with 37 other media organizations, sent a letter to White House Press Secretary James Carney complaining about what the photographers said was a Soviet-style clampdown on coverage of Barack Obama. Yeah, and let's not forget Obama's going away speech to the nation, at least one of his going away speeches, in which he blamed all of the negative feelings Americans had for him on Fox News, specifically on Fox News being blared forth from bars across America. But Trump's the bad guy for fighting against this vicious media atmosphere? I was asked a few days ago if I thought the media were purposely targeting President Donald Trump, if they were going out of their way with full intent to take him down, destroy his presidency, boot him from the White House, and so forth. And I thought about it for a full 1 second before I answered, yes, definitely. And here's an example, one that I actually gave this person who asked the question. You remember how the Huffington Post, back when Trump was still running for the high office, announced that any story that contained Trump's name would go on the site's celebrity pages, not its political pages. That was Huffington Post's way of mocking that Trump just wasn't a fit candidate. Then Trump won the primary, and the Huffington Post had to take him a bit more seriously. So what its editors did instead was add this note at the bottom of every story about Trump. And this is what they quoted. Donald Trump regularly incites political violence and is a serial liar, rampant xenophobe, racist, misogynist, and birther who has repeatedly pledged to ban all Muslims, 1.6 billion members of an entire religion, from entering the U.S. It wasn't until after the general election and Trump won the White House that the Huffington Post actually stopped with the editor's note. But then the Washington bureau chief for HuffPo, Ryan Grimm, also said his organization would reserve the right to add the editor's note back on if Trump, in his view, still behaved in what he saw as a, quote, racist, misogynist way, unquote. Now I ask you, can you imagine the ruckus if, say, the Washington Times did that for Barack Obama? And there's your answer. The media is indeed on a powerful, purposeful witch hunt to take down Trump. And the president's smartest move right now, in my opinion, is the one he's already doing. Sticking with Twitter to give people his quick responses to various goings-on. And even though this may be criticized as going into campaign mode, I still think this is a smart strategy right now because it bypasses the whole vicious press. Taking to various venues in different states to let the people hear him talk, hear his policies and plans right from his own mouth. I'm Cheryl Chumley, taking a stand for Jesus in a land of darkness. If you like what you see, please give a like to my YouTube channel and make sure you can come check me out at my news blog, CherylChumley.com, for daily news and updates. Thanks for listening.